everybody, and welcome to the Elite Dangerous live stream. We are here. What are you giggling? Sandy Samarco's got the giggles already, apparently. So Sandy Tomatoes on my...
Sandy Tomatoes.
Sandy Tomatoes.
Hello, my name is Sandy Tomatoes.
Sandy Tomatoes on my far left. We have with, of course, the Space Loach. Thank you very much for being... Thank you, Space Loach, for coming on.
Yeah.
We have principal designer. Lead whatever you want.
Lead principal, something like that.
Lead principal, head of design.
I think my official term is principal lead.
Is that right? Principal lead?
Or lead
really?
principal, something like that, yeah.
Mix of names there. And principal designer, Stephen Kirby.
Hi, folks.
I'm Ed. That's it. How is everybody in the chat? Oh, look at all this. We've got Paul Archer, we've got Dissocat, Commander the Shrike, Philip Coots, Old Duck, Millstone Barn, Moosipan, Virtual Reality Gremlin, Jill Makes Music, and hundreds of more. But all of the best ones are right here, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tonight, I didn't get to go to Lavecon. This is the first stream back since E3, since I went away to E3, and since Lavecon as well.
I didn't get to go to
E3,
in fairness.
This isn't an argument. We're here to argue, Sandy. We're here to say hello to our lovely community. It's been a while since we've been on one of these streams, so we've crammed on into the FDL. As you can see, we're in here right now, and we want to just kind of recap everything that's been announced over these last couple of weeks, because there has actually been quite a lot, including today we released the Focus Feedback Forum for mining, which is very
cool.
exciting,
Yeah,
very
cool.
cool. So we're going to talk about that and talk through that, just in case anybody here has perhaps not read it yet. That's just come on the forum, so we're going to start off by talking about that. But then shortly after that, we're going to recap what was announced at Lavecon. Now at Lavecon, because you never know, you might not have been at Lavecon, or you might not have seen so far, or you might have been waiting to come for it to come from an official source. Well,
if you weren't at Lavecon, why weren't you at Lavecon?
Well, that's
because
true. Because they
it's
might
a very
live
silly place.
They might live miles away across the
let you
country.
Other side of the world.
Yeah, so actually today we are going to be talking about stuff that's to come, well, of course, shortly, but also at the end of the year in the final update for the part of the Beyond series of updates. Yeah, but Lavecon I'm sure was great, but I wasn't at Lavecon. And as Simon says, unfortunately, I wasn't there, but there's always next year. Absolutely, there's always next year. So
definitely. I just want to say it's really weird. This is the first time I've streamed in this room.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because like there's two lots of text now.
Text.
It's all going everywhere.
Read your comments from both sides.
That's the only update that we've got in this whole thing.
It's fantastic.
We've got this. And we've got that, and that's the only difference.
Also, someone did mention the 3 seats in the third allowance.
You know that we are also still working on our downstairs live stream studio room, and that's got like a soda.
I hear it's got like a free drinks machine and everything.
Free soda pop machine, as you call it in America. But more importantly, Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
It is live and
Elite.
well, and it has been worked very hard on.
Yes.
And I would say that. There's a fever in the office around Elite Dangerous. It's exciting.
Well, it's a cold going around.
We need cowbell.
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies. I do actually have a cold. So if I sniffle and sneeze and cough.
But yeah, no, we're all really busy.
Shuffle this way towards me a
shuffle this way.
and then you shuffle this way towards
Come
me.
here,
You're
Sandy.
hanging off the edge.
Come here.
I like hanging
I
off
know
the
that we're
edge.
limited in this space, but that's why we're working on our
Yeah,
It's not
it's not as roomy
It's
as
meant
it.
to have 2 people in it.
There's so many people talking right now,
Yeah.
including you lot in the chat, and thank you very much for coming around. Right, what we need is some order.
Right.
So tell me all about, whoever wants to, the Focus Feedback Forum on mining. What is the initial principle for mining coming at the end of this year, or the last update?
Okay, so firstly, go and read the Focus Feedback when you get a chance, because it's got more depth and detail in it than this very quick overview that I'm going to give you. So fundamentally though, with mining, what are we doing with it? We want to make it a career, we want to add a bit of depth to it, we want to add more gameplay, make it even more funner than it currently is. And there's a couple of principles we're going to use. So the first one is we want to make it more interesting the way you find resources. So rather than just randomly shooting at asteroids hoping that it's got the resource you want because it's one of the ones that could appear for the asteroid ring, we're going to give you a new scanning process that allows you to look for resources. It's the resource scanner that you'll be using in asteroid fields and potentially other places as well. I've seen some test visuals for this, and I have to say it's looking quite good. So I'm quite impressed by that. I think briefly mentioned actually in the post, we're looking at, and it's a pretty big change, but we're going for it at the moment. We're looking at adding an alternate HUD mode, heads-up display, that we're calling at the moment we're calling analysis mode HUD. which is for more non-combat oriented gameplay like exploration and mining. So we don't want to clutter up your view too much when you're flying normally by having this scan firing off all the time. So you'll switch this cool new mode, kind of like detective mode for finding resources. So that's a cool thing that we're looking at.
People are asking for visuals, and actually we do have a couple.
Well, I don't know if we've got any visuals of that.
But no, not that specifically.
But
what
I think there are
later
some,
on when we covered the Lavecon content, there were some visuals that
there are some
almost concept of it.
Yeah, I've seen it though, and in fairness, I'm quite impressed. Cool. But we're also upgrading prospector limpets, allowing them to perform a really cool scan of an asteroid. Why are we doing that? The reason is we're adding in new types of resource and new types of deposits for asteroids. So it's not just shooting it with a laser. We're going to add a couple of new types of deposits. So you'll still be able to use them on a laser. So it's really important to know we're not taking anything away at all. We're only adding to it. There will be surface deposits, which are in general a bit more delicate, and you'll need a special tool, which I think at the moment we're calling the abrasion blaster, I think, which is a skill-based weapon. It fires charged shots, and the idea is that you're chipping away at these surface deposits, trying to apply enough power in the charge of each shot so you can chip away and get the resource chunk to fall off. But you can overcook it. You can charge too much, and you can destroy the deposit, or you could waste a bit of time not chipping it away and not getting enough. So again, it's a little bit of skill-based gameplay there. Now, the chunk that gets off, although it's only one chunk, don't worry, we do have the means to make sure that it's worth lots of money. So your time is not wasted. It can be whatever we want it to be. So you'll get a good reward for that. So that's one of them.
Cool. Sorry, just noticing a couple of questions that popped up and they've just gone off screen. One question is, so multi-crew mining?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's we definitely want this. As when we go through the Lavecon stuff, I think it's clear that we hear all the people saying we want multi-crew outside of combat, we want some more activities for you. So one of the focuses that we're looking at for exploration and mining is to see how can we get multi-crew gameplay in there. So that hopefully is coming.
So there's another one very quickly. It's analysis mode on planetary prospecting. Does that? Is that a possibility?
It's a possibility, yeah. Analysis mode, we want it to be something that's a bit all-encompassing. So it wouldn't just be for mining in space. There could be things like exploration and planet stuff as well. But more details, I'm sure, are going to come for that later. Great. So we've got surface deposits, got this abrasion blasting. We've also got deposits now that are rich seams, but they're just below the surface. And again, we're calling them imaginatively subsurface deposits. There may be better names in the future, or maybe that's perfect. I don't know. For these, though, you'll need a new tool. I think, again, we're calling it something like the displacement missile, subsurface displacement missile. Again, there's some gameplay associated with this. It's not just fire and forget. You have to find these seams. You can eyeball them, but they're hard to see. That's the plan. The idea is if you use a prospector limpet, you'll scan and you'll be able to see them and see information about them, because these deposits have certain parameters which will, for example, in the case of a subsurface deposit, it will show you how kind of thickly embedded the seam is and how far the surface displacement missile has to drill in before it detonates. So the prospector limpet is getting a massive upgrade to allow you to cope for this. And again, some skill-based gameplay where you fire these missiles. If you can hit, you can drill in, and so you cause the final detonation by letting go of the fire button. And based on how well you drill in and how accurate you are, that affects the yield and/or potential risks and hazards if you're really bad at it. Cool. So, again, the stuff that gets kicked out of this, because, and it's worth noting, because all these processes are a little bit more involved, a little bit more gameplay, they're going to take a little bit more time. We're going to make sure that we up the rewards commensurately, so you can get a lot more bang for your buck, and hopefully it should be a lot more interesting. And then, of course, the pièce de résistance is clearly there'll be some special asteroids. They won't look any different, so you have to use the scanner to locate them, and they might have deposits on them, subsurface deposits. But these will be asteroids that have fissures in them, so they're inherently unstable, and you'll be able to use another tool, which I think we're calling something like the seismic charge. And these are heavy-duty, slow missiles that you have to fire in, and you set a yield on each missile that you fire. You have to examine the fissures and kind of work out. Basically, it's a holistic asteroid buster. So you look at all of the fissures that you want to affect. You set the yields on individual charges. You fire them all in, and then when the first one hits, there's like a network synchronized detonation. So that once the first one goes in, a timer starts, and you have to get the rest in. And if you do it right, you crack the asteroid open, and you get lots of juicy stuff inside. Of course, all of these methods, there might be interesting hazards, new hazards that will make it put a bit of jeopardy in there. It's really important, actually. One of the things that we constantly go on about, or I know I am, because I'm like a broken record, we want mining to feel like its own thing, and one of those things, if you watch any film where it's some sort of industrial work going on, it's that there's a lot of hazard in just doing the jobs. It's not always about being shot by space raiders. It's actually just, if you get this wrong, if you get that charge wrong, you're going to have a giant explosion in space right next to you, kind of thing.
So bits of floating rock, I would imagine.
Exactly,
They're quite
so
hazardous,
being hit by these asteroids are big, right? So you don't want to get hit by them.
You're going to be propelling things.
I also want to say, some people have asked about sort of the graphical upgrades that go with the update. So the asteroid graphics, specifically. I've seen.
You've seen some stuff as
I'm
well.
lucky enough to have seen some stuff, and
well, should we show them some stuff?
Well, we can, I suppose.
Yeah.
We can give them. This is to do with later. Okay. Well, this is to do with later on.
Just wing it. I don't mind. Right?
You don't mind. Okay.
Kevin Slevin says, "Can we find rock lobsters?"
Okay. So let's show our. Do forgive me if I'm opening up the wrong images here. Thank you guys for being patient with me if I get it wrong. So this was the original thing that we put up at Frontier Expo, wasn't it?
That's the concept.
The concept art.
A very pretty concept art.
Yeah, and then we've got this stuff here, which are.
So I think these are surface deposits. Okay. They're kind of crystalline structures worth an awful lot of money, but quite delicate and obviously very pretty. The kind of thing that you could just fly up an eyeball, right? So if you happen to be looking at an asteroid as you fly by, you see one of these bad boys, it's like, okay, I can get in there and get some if I've got the abrasion blaster. But you will definitely have to find them with the scanning processes, with the Prospector Limpet and with the new, I think it's called medium range active scanner that you'll be able to pulse out.
Okay.
Look at that cool stuffs. So there could be some new interesting things there, interesting effects maybe as well. So pretty cool. Yeah, and so and I think what's important with that picture is that scale. Right, that is not a small thing. Okay, that is very, very, very big. So if one of those chunks is moving towards you, even if it's moving very slowly, you don't want to be on the wrong side of it. Materials. So Commander Nerd says, will they also give maps? Yes, they absolutely will. We're looking at that with exploration and mining. We're looking at overhauls in terms of the kind of things that you can get to make sure it's a chance for us to again do another balance pass on the kind of materials you get and the resources that you get from them.
So it's worth mentioning again that this is concept art, obviously, of how because we wanted to give something to the people who were at Lavecon a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was. It feels like it was a million years ago now. A sort of a look at things that were coming in the future, and I think it's now more relevant than ever now that we're talking about it on the forums. So I was having a look at this. I mean, this is an interesting one. Remember, this is very behind the scenes stuff. So just in case you didn't get to have a good look at it, back at Lavecon or the videos that came out from that, we just thought we'd do it in an official place. So there is this video here of. Sort of showing how the initial meshes of those things breaking apart.
So it's a pre-visualization of how it would feel, so that everyone can get an idea of what these things would feel like if put in the main game. So.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool, especially I think that we call them mother loads. I don't know, again, all of the names, all of the numbers, all the stats and things we kind of pipe up with today, you should treat them all as temporary, right? We again, it's a look behind the curtain because we want to try and be as open as possible and get great feedback, but we have to caveat it with things may change. But what's really cool here with these is that we want to make sure there are some stuff that only appears inside these mother loads. So it's not just you get bigger, richer resources, you get certain resources and certain effects and certain things even possibly that only come out if you crack the asteroid. It's also important to note that we want this to be kind of skill-based gameplay. So we're trying to plan in ways for you to mess it up, right? You do it wrong, the asteroid won't crack open, or you do it really, really wrong and it cracks open in a bad way that's going to really it's going to make a bad day for everyone in the vicinity. So again, it's all about making sure there's a bit of depth in there, right? A bit of fun. A bit of exciting,
animal reward as well for actually spending the time to do this. Because the current mining lasers will work the same way, right?
The current mining lasers will still give you a bunch of stuff, and you can still do it. It's just a case of if you start loading up your ship with these more extravagant items, you should be able to increase your credits per hour at the very least, and also your ability to get stuff which otherwise you might not have to get easily or at all. So hopefully should be a lot of fun. So. That's kind of what we've been talking about in the forums for mining so far. So again, I exhort you, I think that's the word, go into the forums, read it, give us feedback. We make no bones, we have to make the decision right at the end of the day, but we're learning and we have learned it. When we show you these things and get the feedback, it just allows us to make better decisions, right? So, and also thank you for everyone that does give feedback. Yes, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really important that you head over to that
Yeah.
Focus Feedback forum and put in all your thoughts and feelings on it, because it is genuinely being read by absolutely everybody who works
It is.
on those
Some of
specific
those
features,
things.
No, we're not like that. It's most of the time we're like,
this is great.
It's really good stuff.
So the immediate, and thank you, Osric, for posting the link in there. The immediate feedback, Barry Clark has already been...
The Silver Fox.
Silver Fox, another designer on Elite, has already been commenting in there and discussing things in there. But I don't know if you've had much time, because we only posted
It's
it
only
today.
on live today, but yeah, Barry's already in there. I've been in there having a look.
How's it looking? So far?
It's really good. There's a lot of positive feedback, which is great, but there are lots of questions, and so we love being told we're on the right track. That's
Great,
good,
yeah.
but we also absolutely want to be told, hey, this could be an issue, or have you considered, what this is going to do to some other part of the game? So this is the reason we're doing it.
Yeah.
It's not just a freebie to say look behind the curtain. It is. We've got plans in motion, right, and things are hard to change. But when we get great feedback, sometimes it can make us make even better decisions. Simple as that, really.
I mean, it is a very useful tool. Even if you don't have any specific feedback, but you have a question, it might be a question that no one actually has asked. So it's also good to put questions. So
different points of view.
what does this do?
Absolutely.
What does that do? How does this work?
For example, someone just asked us, will seismic charges work on ships? Well, they won't work on ships as in they'll be virtually impossible to use as a weapon, but if they go wrong,
Well,
they will affect ships.
They will have blast damage.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
therefore, if a ship is
They're gonna
inside the
push
blast
around, they're gonna
radius,
do damage,
they
yeah.
will do some
You
damage.
don't want to be
but
next
you're
to
not
them
going to
when it
use it as a
goes
weapon. Yeah.
basically. So, that's minning. I've just decided it's now minning.
Minning, not mining.
Not
It's
mining.
We are officially changing the name in Chapter 4
Yeah.
to Minning. We're adding an extra N in there? No, okay. Well, that's... thank you, Sandy. And thank you, Steve, for your additional input into this.
Yeah, at this
it's
point,
been
I'm
great.
contributing a lot.
We do understand that everybody it has been may have seen some of this content that we're talking about tonight already, but I wasn't at Lavecon, which I was heartbroken to not be at Lavecon. So I need you guys to tell me all about what you actually spoke about to catch me up.
Right.
So I can actually be up there with the guys in the community. You can decide if you think this is a joke or not.
Well, minning.
Or we could just keep you in the dark.
Minning was one of the things we talked about.
Minning was one of the first.
I think it might have been. Was it the first thing? It was the first thing.
I think, Mark went through mining.
I think there's more detail now on the
I'm going
forums.
to click on some
Well, this
stuff.
is it. Please go to the forums.
I'm going to click on some stuff.
And then you discussed exploration, which
I
is
had a
another
quick
key
nibble on
pillar
that.
of
Oh, look at this. This looks like, to me, that looks like a ship, right, that's gone into space, and he's looking for stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's banging his hammer going, where's that stuff? So, exploration. So one of the things we were really pleased that we could do for Lavecon, and it felt really good actually spilling the beans at Lavecon specifically because the guys there are they're just gold dust. So thanks for all the people that turned up, especially to see our little presentation.
It was brilliant. From what I hear, it was brilliant to see.
It was a lot.
All
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
photos and things people sending back.
It's always awesome.
Yeah.
So
jealous.
what I talked about at Lavecon, which is what I'll just quickly recap here, was just a snippet, like one part of exploration. So exploration, we've got these kind of pillars that we're trying to follow, much like for mining. We want to get some gameplay in there, improve the gameplay, expand on it, get some satisfying processes, so it feels like you are actually exploring, not just pressing a button and then you've got something, right? Actually, it's all about verisimilitude, right? It's about I hate to use the word immersions, but it's kind of a little bit of that. And also make sure that you can find cool stuff, right? Because otherwise, why are you exploring, right? So what I focused on was the detailed surface scanner. So the detailed surface scanner is in the game now, and effectively you learn a bit more information when you scan a planet, you've got it fitted, and you make a lot more money, especially depending on what the planet type is, and that's cool. But it's clear to say that there's actually no real gameplay associated with it. So one of the things that we wanted to do, exactly, we wanted to make it a process rather than just it's fitted, therefore things happen. And the way we're looking at doing this, and again, it's all caveated with we're trying this. Obviously, I've played prototypes. It's looking really cool, but we're still in the thick of it, as it were.
See up on the screen as well.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to make it launch probes. So when you're at a planet, rather than just doing a scan, target it, wait for 10 to 35 seconds. Which is, that's okay, but what we're going to do is actually get a bit of gameplay. So instead, from Super Cruise, you'll launch Super Cruise satellite probes. Now, you launch them at the planet, and they follow what we call a partially guided orbit. So it's a bit like a parabolic arc, a decaying orbit. You'll fire them, and they'll kind of their little Super Cruise thruster will lean in towards the planet's surface. And the reason we're doing this is because it allows us to do cool things like have trick shots. So you can just point directly at the planet's surface, launch a satellite probe, it'll whiz down to it. When it reaches its impact height, which isn't the surface, it's above it, it deploys a complicated set of sensors, a sensor array, starts collating data from a very large area around it. So I think on this picture, it's like the blue, the cyan circles are showing where data is being collated and collected. And you could fly around in Super Cruise and fire them each at various points to get full coverage, because the idea is you want to paint the planet, the stellar body, with satellite coverage. However, with this kind of parabolic arc, you can actually just do trick shots. You can start leaning away, angling away from the planet's surface and effectively lobbing them around the side. And technically, and I've even done it, you can lob them all the way around the back. So from one location, you can potentially get every part of the planet. And you can fire lots of probes, you can fire a few probes. There's an amount of mild resource management in there. Clearly you'll be synthesising these things because you'll be in deep space, and that's one of our big things we want to make sure for exploration. You don't need to keep coming back. You're going to be making things and doing things in deep space. Hopefully people will have as much fun as we're having at the moment with this tactile gameplay of launching probes and getting satellite coverage. And if you get really skilled, you can do it in a really small number of probes and get good coverage. Or you could just spam it and go, well, I'll just make some more and just fire off loads.
But if resources are tight, it's really good.
Yeah, it's like, exactly, it's how do you want to do it, right?
I must admit, it is satisfying when you kind of just get it right and it's like, right, I've done this, I've been efficient, it's really good.
Exactly.
And it's actually been quite a good fun, trying to...
Yeah, lobbing it around.
I've seen Eddie trying various little trick shots, like, right, I'm just going to face the planet, but I'm going to bend something all the way around
exactly.
it. Really
and at this point, I think I might have mentioned it at Lavecon, going back to the multi-crew. So multi-crew is really important, and with this particular feature, with the detailed surface scanner, the probe launcher, the functionality it's going to have, we're looking at trying to make sure that every role has access to it in the ship at any one time. So it's when you use this surface launcher, this probe launcher, you're probably going to end up with a camera view, like a camera buoy outside the ship and what you're launching them. But everyone can do it at the same time, and so it's going to be pretty cool to see lots of probes being launched by all different people. You'll see all the trails, you'll see all the AR trails, and importantly, you can work together, right? You can say, well, I'll
fly.
Yeah, exactly. I'll fly, you launch, or I'll go for the front ones, you go for the back ones. And you have to do it much more quickly. Yeah. And we might. So the big gain here as well actually is that we now know that your crew is actively involved in doing exploration with you. We don't have to worry about them just kind of like freeloading. So the good news there is we can reward everyone. We can reward them well. So it's no longer a case of, well, I can come along for the ride, but I can just watch. Now I can come along and I can make the process more efficient. It can be more fun, and we can all make money and get rank doing it. Yeah. So that's just one element of exploration. There's a couple of other bits that we're looking at that we're not quite ready to talk about yet, but hopefully that should give an idea to the kind of gameplay that we want for exploration. We just want to make it just kind of better.
Hi, Jarima543. Yeah, we saying something about. I hope you show something new here, because if it's only to resume the Lavecon, then it's a useless stream.
Well, I feel quite useless now. Jarima543.
No, in all seriousness, we came on to talk about the mining stuff, which we actually talked about at the very beginning, but also to recap things just in case you didn't actually get to catch the Lavecon thing, and we also want to put it out from our official channels as well. Yeah, thank you so much for coming along.
I don't think everyone saw the Lavecon video. Surprising, because
not everybody.
Frankly, I don't know why there's any reason why they shouldn't have.
So, it's absolutely true, but they might not have. So it's for those people who may not have caught up on it. So, but just exactly. So please, thank you. And of course, we are going to have more information and stuff. I know, sort of doing a little crying joke there, but there is going to be eventually more stuff for us to be able to share with you in future. So do stick with us. Yes. Nemeth Sandor. I'm really sorry. I'm terrible with names. Olympic controller should get a revamp, I think, with at least 100 requiring to man ships. Actually, I missed that. You've lost it. Saying that you need more. No, it's this one here. You need more. Right. So one of the things we are looking at, and again, no ETAs, no guarantees. Yes, I got to say it. We're looking at what we're calling stacking modules. So this is mainly for sensors and Olympic controllers. The idea, just like a fighter bay, you buy the hangar, and the hangar has slots that you put
fighter modules in.
Yeah, it's the limpet rack.
Exactly, we're
rack.
looking at doing that. We're looking at doing that hopefully for limpet controllers and sensors. So you'll get the limpet rack, and you'll be able to put a number of limpet controllers in it. Yeah. We're not going to make it infinite. There still needs to be some resource management of modules.
But at the same point, we can make different grades of them.
Exactly.
So that actually, the more you can buy a simple one that'll have a couple of slots. Yeah. Then upgrade to larger
get a better one that's got more. And
like
the idea is that we want to make sure that the smaller ships still have a fighting chance. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And just get. And also there is the concept of module inflation in terms of we're adding more modules, and so we have to look at the slots that are available on ships. Also, and I think this might be mentioned, I think Barry might have mentioned this in the forum, so go and read the forum again. We are also considering the concept of specialised slots, like for example exploration or mining slots or industry slots or whatever we call them. We've got precedent for this, we've got history for this.
You've got form,
military and passenger slots. So I think it works really well because it allows us to pick certain ships and go, you know what, that was always meant to be a bit more of an explorer type ship, like the Asps or the Diamondback Explorer, because it's got Explorer in the name. Yeah. You can say those ships get some of these slots, whereas other larger ships don't. So that allows us a bit more fine tuning in making sure the big ships don't get too overpowered, even more than they are currently. When the little ships actually just get brought up with them. So both of those tools are available to us.
It also allows us to give slightly clearer roles for each
Absolutely,
ship as well.
Yeah.
So we can say, actually, this is an exploration ship, but it leans towards mining. This is an exploration ship, but it leans towards some other bits and pieces.
Alden Appleby.
There might be more different types of slots coming.
Absolutely. Alden Appleby, which is a great name. Will those racks have weight associated with them? Yeah, we'll look at the weight balance to make sure that what we don't do is just give you a load more things that you can carry, but then your ship can't move, right? So we'll look at moderating that as well.
Do that, I did see a question about someone else. Are there Easter eggs in Elite? And I can hand on heart say yes, there are a lot of Easter eggs in Elite.
I don't know about them though.
No.
Right.
Great. I'm not saying anything more than that. But
in the interest of time, we must move forward.
We'll move forward.
To not literally sit back. Sit up straight. Steve.
Oh, well, I hadn't actually finished with exploration.
Oh, go on. No, I know. There's lots more to show. I've got.
Right.
That's
Okay.
what I was going for.
What have you got? I saw that.
We have. So that was the planet scan, and then we also have. It's just
the ring
scan. So again, this is dovetailing into mining. So there will be some crossover with some of these scanning processes, and that the probes that you launch from the detailed surface scanner will also allow you to interrogate rings to find. We haven't gone into the details yet, but some way of finding hotspots, better yields in certain areas. So you can actually use exploration to increase your payout capability, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does mesh together, and it's going to look cool. In fact, flying in Super Cruise, flying off these bad boys with a nice little trail it's going to be pretty fun.
Yes.
I don't know why that's another same image as before.
It's so good you need to see it twice.
But then there's this.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's just soak this one in a little bit.
I like this one.
Yeah. So, what are we looking at here? So, I'm not really going to explain it actually. But what I will say is that so exploration, you need to find things. There have to be things to find. And all we're saying here is sometimes the things you find won't necessarily be entities, right? It won't necessarily be you found some sort of alien life or some crazy geology, some weird crazy asteroids. Sometimes the very environment itself will be part of the discovery process. Yeah. And it's also unlikely to always just be this looks really pretty and I'm going to log it in the codex. Expect to see effects as well. Some of these kind of biome type areas, these kind of gaseous emanations, of which we're trying to make sure that as much as possible that there's a rationale for why it is in space. So these aren't just, we're not just randomly creating, let's put a big spot cloud there. If there's a cloud in space,
charged particles.
If there's a cloud in space, something caused it, right? Yeah. Okay, that's the rationale behind that. But expect to see some interesting effects that could be beneficial or quite baneful for your ship.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things that we're looking to find because we're going to give you a codex, right, to log discoveries in. So that means
there's got to be lots of things to find.
Quad erat demonstrandum or something. There will be things to find.
He's trying to break
My
out
Latin's
the Latin.
Bad.
Right.
We know it's reached a certain point in string when he breaks out the Latin.
In pace.
That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
All right. So let's have a look at this next screenshot now.
What is this one?
I think at this point, I don't know how much you can talk about this because we need a Chris here. Really, we need a Chris.
I can talk about it, but it might make no sense.
No.
I think it's best just to look at it.
Let's just do our best.
Let's just channel Chris.
So this was what we showed off at Frontier Expo as the sort of target
Target
render.
render.
This is what we're aiming
concept
for.
art.
Concept art, basically, target render of kind of what we would like the planet surface to look more akin to. And then I think Chris must have said some really smart stuff.
He said loads of cool stuff about all different techniques that are using volumetric effects and adaptive lighting.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and some really cool things to do with surface elements,
rocks.
surface scatter rocks type system, and all sorts of crazy nonsense that those artists are just like mad about. Oh yeah, so adaptive lighting. I don't know what it means exactly,
but you can.
But it makes it look cooler.
Because this is the current game lighting.
Yeah, which is really pretty.
Oh, what a beautiful looking game.
Let's turn it up.
But guess what?
Turn it up to 11.
The adaptive lighting.
And they can throw a colour over the top of the artists can throw colours over the top
Yeah,
of
they could do some crazy. What was the final one? There's something else.
It's difficult
There's another
to see.
one. There's another one.
Is that right?
No,
oh, sorry, that's my fault. Yeah, absolutely. And this
Look,
one, yes,
colour grade. Yeah. Now, I do remember Chris saying it's a filmic quality, like some sort of post-processing effect that they can put over it. But it's done. But it's at runtime and it's in there, and they can shift things to make things look like, give the environment a more warmer look or a cool look, or basically just a cooler, awesomer look. Mm-hmm. That's technical. That's the technical term for it.
And these are things that are coming towards the end of the year. I
think so.
Updates, absolutely, yeah. And I just want to mention as well with these things, with the adaptive lighting, with colour grade, it's to do with currently. I mean, Chris mentioned that basically everything sort of has the same. Again, I'm going to be.
You're on your own, mate.
I've got nothing. I'll jump in as soon as you throw a word at me.
No. I'm going to give up. But essentially, it allows scenes to be set up whereby things will look different.
Yes.
So different areas of the galaxy will look completely different.
It allows the art guys to actually go in and do a nice bit of hand crafting over what we've got.
Certain scenes will look different ways.
Warmer, colder,
just show some more
more
pictures,
sinister,
right?
less
cool.
sinister.
I want to see more pictures. I don't want to hear you.
All right, Sandy. All right.
And me babbling on. I want to see. Look at this, right? That's cool, right? That's a cobra on a planet, folks, and it's fantastic. However, do it.
Boom! Look
at that contrast in there. It's like he's on the moon, and then you've got colour grade and
we've got colour grades and all sorts of things. So it means that there's more toys in the toy box
just
for the
gamma cranked
artists.
up. It's adaptive lighting, which is really complicated. I don't understand it.
No.
Chris is trying to explain it, and I just didn't get it. It didn't get it, although I
And we
could
have
be
the
a
same
bit thick.
example of the in-hanger.
Yeah, I think this was Chris was mentioning. This is just to show that it's a game-wide effect.
Yeah.
It's not just limited to certain environments. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Which
going to
is
be
pretty. And
really lovely,
Simon Agius Muscat, yeah, boy. You're absolutely right.
It's really lovely.
It's fantastic.
I would like to apologise to everybody, and I really wish that we had somebody on that was.
Yeah, Chris is probably just grinding his teeth.
It's going, what are they saying?
But frankly, it's really pretty.
Current game lighting. And then we have.
Well, bright day.
Lighting.
And then if we do that one.
This one.
I mean, it shows the progress. Yeah, I mean that was something that.
Look at that, right? It's about making the environment just look more awesome.
But if you go
that technical term again, awesomer.
And then
number 17.
Okay.
There we go.
So,
look
at this.
This again was something that Chris mentioned. It's like these are. I mean, it's work in progress, so it's not finished by any stretch. But this is some of the improvements that they've already made to the ice shaders and things. So you get depth. You know. It actually looks like ice.
In all honesty, in all seriousness, I think the art team are fantastic, and they just keep excelling themselves. And the fact they're doing this to they're doing this to a game that's like a mature game that's been out already for years.
Without a massive impact on performance as well. I mean, it's not just. I mean, you're seeing this and going, okay, obviously I'm going to have to buy a new graphics card. You're not.
No,
you're not going to have to. That's the. I mean, they've
pretty
really
fantastic,
done
right?
some amazing work on these. So
I just want to stamp on that and crack it and sync that SRV, just because I'm. Evil like that.
It's not a new feature coming to the game.
Yeah.
Just so.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing that, right?
Just completely aware.
Right. That's like a no chain, no guarantee on that.
Okay, we've got some more videos, and I think this is where sort of Steve.
I actually get to talk.
Kirby show.
Yeah, I'm going to show them now because I've got a cough anyway.
So also after all of that cool stuff for Quarter 4 was mentioned, the lovely Adam Woods obviously came through and said, well, obviously we all know that Chapter 2 is coming, and so we've got had some things that are a little bit closer to close to being released that we can discuss
very shortly.
Yeah,
we're talking 7 days
next week.
Yeah,
soon. So
it's time next
good.
week.
So yeah, I mean he basically rattled through a few things. If I get my teeth in, which we'll kind of go through now. So the first thing on the list was in chapter 1. Yeah, in chapter
That's the
1, we put in lots of interactions onto the megaships. So we are going to put the same interactions onto the installations. So you'll have hackable turrets, cargo bays, you'll have data points, comms arrays, various other things that you can actually interact with, get loot from, do various things. So the installations come with a couple of extra little things. So we do actually have hackable maintenance hatches. If you want to show them. So these are hatches that you can break into using limpets, or just shoot your way in if you really want to, and get into the interiors of some of these buildings in your ships. There are also a lot of the installations actually have trespass zones in them, so it's another reason to use silent running, which will actually lower your emissions, making you harder to be detected. We've also, I mean, the megaships already had, I did see Julio Montega asked a question about, can we use silent runnings at megaships, please? That is already in the game now. You can use silent running to mitigate being detected doing crimes at megaships, but we've taken it a little bit further in the installations as well.
They're stealing from the NHS.
They're stealing from medical.
Oh my God.
Well, it's only
Don't do
data.
that.
It's data. But
Wow,
stealing
that's
data
that's
from.
records.
I know, but you see, whoever did this video didn't use silent running in that one.
Whoever used to make this video also had the sound up really loud.
Yes.
Apparently.
Doesn't matter because the challenge just sounds amazing.
Sorry.
Obviously.
Sorry.
Obviously. So yeah, so that's what we're doing to installations. So they'll be in chapter 1. We're not going to stop there. We're going to take these things further and further and further as we want to, because we always want to improve the scenarios we give you guys. So that's the next step in that. We also had a look at, while we were looking at other interactions we wanted to give you, one thing came up and said, well, actually, players don't just want to do illegal things, they want to be the hero on certain occasions. So on damaged ships, we're going to give escape pods, escape hatches onto the megaships. So when you find a damaged megaship, you can complete the scan as you do currently in the game. And one of the items you can find is an escape hatch. So this will contain X number of escape pods, which you can then use limpets to jettison and scoop them up and deliver them back to safety at starports with the search and rescue contacts. Or you can do what Adam did here and just jettison them into space. It's up to you. We won't judge.
Adam, I'm judging him.
I'm judging him. Yeah, he didn't save the people.
That all sounds awesome.
And again, this is one more thing we're putting in. This isn't the end. This isn't like, oh yeah, we're going to put this in and leave it alone. We're going to put it in and obviously take them to further levels. So
look at that. That's cool. It's come out.
Yep.
That looks great.
So it allows you to basically become the hero. I'm going to ignore that.
What did you just say? Something.
Nothing. You made a bad pun.
It's great.
So you can. These will be at a damaged megaship, so you can go and be a good guy, which is good. Okay, I think the next thing we're going to look at are some new weapons coming. So we've got some new large variants of the Guardian weapons coming, and who doesn't like a new gun? So there's the Guardian plasma launcher and shard cannon, and these come in fixed turreted. Fixed and turreted actually for the Guardian weapons, and we also have a I think it's the plasma shock cannon.
I believe that's what it's called.
Which comes in fixed, gimbaled, and turreted. So these are all large weapons, so will fit on your large hardpoints. Awesome. They'll be available from the tech brokers after this update.
By the way, this is my real hat.
That is his hat. He does own it.
The other hat,
I can vouch for that.
I'm not allowed to wear the other hat as much.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other hat is out of favour.
So then, we actually have the new locations, which sites. There we go. So as I said, we're constantly sort of trying to, add new scenarios for you guys to go and encounter. So some of those are some new abandoned or maybe not abandoned settlements.
Looks abandoned to me.
That you can go and visit as our Thargoid friend is doing there. So these are our new places with lore to discover and things to discover. So we can you can go and discover those. So yeah, they all have unique lore and narrative at them. So that's good. Cool. And they may have a Thug or do too lying around. Okay, and then the last thing, obviously, we mentioned one of two ships coming.
One of two ships.
This update is the Challenger. So this is a Lavecon Alliance vessel, as the Chieftain was.
Yeah.
So I can give you a few more details than we actually gave out at Lavecon. So obviously this is a medium ship, so it fits on a medium pad. So it is. It will have. I'm assuming I can mention those.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds good to me.
It has a large 3 medium and 3 small hard points. And I'm not going to. Yeah. That's about all the details I'm going to spill.
It's pretty sweet. It's quite
manoeuvrable. But yeah, it's a very, very cool ship.
Reports coming in are saying this bad boy is a space superiority fighter.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a sister ship to the Chieftain.
Yeah.
But it has its own personality, which is really cool.
Cool.
So yeah, it'll be fun to fly.
Another ship.
Another ship. Very cool. Very cool. And we're going to have
kit.
lots more to talk to you about next week. I'm pretty sure that we'll be doing a stream at some point next week, throughout the week, whether that's on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it'll be before the 28th, showing off some of the stuff in action, which will be very, very cool. So look out for that coming up next week. And well, thank you. Also, let's talk about the Focus Feedback Forum for a little bit again, just a little bit more. And maybe we've got. Do you want to answer some questions from the chat? Because we've got a few more minutes.
If people can ask questions, well, I might as well take this point and just go completely off piece.
Let's mention the forum first.
Well, no, this is about the forums though.
Okay,
it's actually about a topic which I want to make sure that people. I don't want people coming away with the impression that we're avoiding or ignoring it, and that's the Powerplay flash topic that came up. So. First of all, if you're not aware, which you probably weren't because it was a minor little thing that we talked about, we had a flash topic in the Focus Feedback Forum about various changes to Powerplay to improve it. And a lot of the changes seem to get quite good feedback. From everyone, we got some great useful information from people who are involved in Powerplay about how they could be improved or tweaked. But one of them was quite an important one, and it actually got its own follow-up topic, which was the concept of the possibility of making Powerplay available in open only. And then we've also floated an alternate concept of having incentives for being in Powerplay, so that your rewards for Powerplay activities are improved if you're in open, but you can still do it in solo. So it's just a couple of misconceptions, or a couple of points actually I wanted to make, which is, firstly, thank you for all the feedback. It's been fantastic, and it's great to see so many passionate people. It doesn't matter if you don't like a certain concept or you like it. As long as you're civil, get in there, make your thoughts known. And in fairness, I think it's fair to say people did.
Oh yeah.
And that's great. And it's been very, very incredibly useful getting a wide range of opinions. Mm-hmm. Secondly, this isn't in any way, shape or form a fait accompli. It's an interesting concept. It's quite a big one. It's something that we've been thinking about only in hindsight, right? This obviously wasn't the way that the game launched, but we're looking at it now and we're saying, okay, so being very kind of pragmatic, are there ways that we can improve the game? We shouldn't not investigate if we honestly think it might improve things. But by the same token, it doesn't mean to say that we're going to do it. It's done. This really has been an investigation, and it's an ongoing investigation. So there might be more posts in the future for that. But I just want to say it's something that we're looking at. We're taking it very seriously. It's been amazing, all of the cool feedback. So we'll keep you updated. But you shouldn't expect nothing's going to happen in the short term, or probably even the medium term. Or this is just, rather than just go ahead and do something or not do something, we thought, well, the feedback's been getting better and better for this game, so why not tap into it? And already I can safely say that it's been brilliant. We've had so much more to chew on. Obviously, that means that we need to think about it a lot more now. We need to go away. We need to put it together, and then
we are going to continue to do. Steve is right. Everyone quiet.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some things.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, people.
You were saying, Edvard.
It's quite. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's just quite funny because we come on the streams and we see the chat and we see what you guys, and forums and Reddit and various other things, and see what you guys are saying. Oh, we really want this. We really want this. We really want this. And sometimes it's like, Yeah, okay, thank you. That's new information. Sometimes it's like, yeah, we're thinking along the same lines, and sometimes it's like, oh, I can't do anything. But so I'm just taking some notes off.
Careful with that, you just flashed it at the screen.
Well, he's just drawing some naughty pictures, that's fine.
Could have said anything
Picture
on
of
So
Ed.
yeah, I mean, it's like I say, important. It's important
he's
to know
just
that it's
drawing
something that
silly
Yeah,
we're
that's it. No,
it's something that we're investigating, and that we can't lock ourselves off from from making that kind of stuff if we think it's the right thing to do. But in fairness, at the moment, it's just an investigation.
And it's not a naughty and nice list I'm writing either.
So it's interesting because, again, you also get a strange indication of kind of how you guys are feeling about specific topics as well. There's a lot of people saying about open only in here, and that was a really interesting device. Topic.
So look, we don't give out numbers because we just don't do that, right? Because we're the cool kids. However, it's fair to say that, again, just to put a misconception to rest, the people playing in open is not a small group; it's the majority. More people playing open than the other modes by a significant margin. Yeah. So that shouldn't be taken though as so we're going to do open only power play. That is absolutely the furthest from our minds. It's just that it hopefully will save some kind of spurious arguments where people complain about, well, there's no one plays in open or everyone plays in open. The truth is, a lot of people play in open, but there are significant portions that play in solo, significant portions that play in private groups. We want to support everyone as best we can, but we also want to make sure that the game is as good as it can be. Yeah. So it's an interesting challenge, but it's enjoyable, especially when we've got all of this awesome feedback coming in. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Actually, that we're not ignoring you. Oh, that's the only point I want to make is that we're not ignoring you. If the forums go quiet, apologies. I'd love to be talking with you day in, day out, and I probably would if they let me. But unfortunately, it's not a time-free exercise.
So we need to do some work.
Stopping you, but you've got work.
It's not a time-free exercise. Dealing with the forums from our level, right? We can't just fire off a post here and there, and we have to kind of think through what we're saying, right? And that's important. We want you guys to get as sorts of information from us as possible. So if it goes quiet, that doesn't mean to say that we're not thinking about it. It just means to say we've got nothing to say at the moment. That's all that means.
Yeah. I mean, there are lots of ideas floating around the office. There are lots of feature proposals and various other bits and pieces.
I mean, we have debates internally that are amazing. But we're very grateful for all of your feedback.
But at some point, you can't just...
Grateful.
As I said, we're very grateful for all of your feedback.
You definitely did say that, didn't you?
I don't know.
Carry on. So, Sandy, are there going to be other topics as well that we're going to keep coming in with the
I reckon, in the Focus Forum feedback, I reckon that we may see some exploration stuff in there at some point. And maybe a bit more on mining, maybe a bit more on squadrons. It's like basically, it's a great little communication line with the players. So please go on there.
It doesn't replace the stuff that we're receiving in here. It doesn't replace the stuff that we see on social media or on other areas of the forum. It's just a nice way to keep it in one.
It focuses it.
It focuses it. It's got some really good and
it's almost like
shout out to the moderators. They don't get enough love. No. Moderators do a fantastic job. Thank you very much for your moderation that you do. I know that you do it of your own free volition and time. Yes. And the Focus Forum feedback is heavily moderated with some very special rules. There's a golden rule which prevents a lot of circular arguments. It makes it very easy for us to pass the sticky threads. I mean, obviously, we don't want to stifle censor people, so you can post whatever you want in the normal threads, but our sticky threads are moderated really well. And so if you're worried about being attacked for a certain opinion, it can't happen in those threads. They'll just get shut down. Those guys will get shut down. When you're in the Focus Forum feedback on the sticky threads, you're talking directly to us, and you are. And this is no lie. There's no spin here because we're rubbish at it. Well, you're talking to the developers, right? We're just the designers and other people that read it, or the developers that read the forums. Yeah. It's a straight line communication. So, booyah! I don't know why I added that, but it sounded
throwing random noises.
It sounded exclusive.
Why not?
So let's get some questions in the chat for these guys as well, because we've got a few more minutes remaining. And again, I want to remind people that we have more live streams coming up next week as well, before the launch on the 28th of Beyond Chapter 2. Remember that Beyond Chapter 2 and 3 are going to be smaller updates that are coming as stepping stones before the larger update, which comes in Chapter 4 towards the end of this year. So,
yes.
Well, not too much later, but towards the end of the year.
But apparently, I'm rubbish at it because my last communication to the DDF was, "I will be back."
I am back.
Right, I am here.
There was a
It
little
would be.
winky face. I don't think they meant it too seriously, but yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay, so
Space Note?
lots of questions coming through here. If you
Yeah.
want to grab any of these things, do you want?
Oh,
Sandy, do you
one
want-
final thing. So some Cochlearix, I think that's how you say it now.
Cochlearix, yeah.
Cochlearix. Is there a focus for feedback for Shields considered? There might be. We've got some plans for Shields. Yeah, that might come later on. No ETAs, no guarantees. But
Steve's writing something.
I think he's writing no ETAs, no guarantees actually.
I'm not. I'm just making some notes. It's fine. It's just if I take them from here, I can.
And someone asked about the new ship. Which one's it? What's it called again?
The Chieftain.
The Challenger.
Challenger.
The Challenger. So is it more manoeuvrable than the Chieftain? Yes, I think
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yes, that was Yamik's. He also asked for the price range. Please don't quote me on this, but I think it's more expensive than the Chieftain. But it's kind of.
It's probably in a tolerance of it.
It's in a tolerance, yeah. It's
I didn't
more
know that.
expensive, but it's a bit further out. I don't have an exact number in front of me, so please don't quote me. But yeah, I think it is more expensive than the Chieftain.
How often do I wash that space loach? It washes itself, G-Trim, and
That's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Am I? Sorry, that one.
Sure.
So one thing that was
Lance.
yes, thank you,
Hello,
Lance, for your
Lance.
question. So the Guardian weapon and the trade broker values for that. We said yes, we are checking. It's officially we have announced we are checking in a fix. That fix will be coming next week with the update. So yes, it will reduce the number of materials you need to have to unlock the Guardian weapons and all tech broker recipes. So yes, by
don't say never give you nothing.
by a significant margin. Yes, a very.
I don't think it's very happy with me.
You know what?
So, yeah,
I'm just.
it will
I'm
reduce the grind.
worried.
Thank you. Sorry, yeah. No, he's right. I'm having an argument with Sandy live on the
Oh,
stream.
it's a road between
honestly,
two thorns
I'm
here.
going to be honest with you. I've been overwhelmed by information. Also, I'm very tired. Still recovering from jet lag, so I do apologise everybody. I only came back from LA a few days ago.
I want to go to LA again. Hey,
Anyway,
David, can I go back to LA?
wanna be American.
recipes, don't you mean blueprints?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's been called out. Yeah, we do mean blueprints. Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
keep going some more questions.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
Guardian
the
vessel
Amex,
blueprints,
will mining be more lucrative or extra steps the same result? It will be more lucrative.
Yes.
It'll be more lucrative anyway, and it'll be hopefully a lot more fun, but there will be increased risk. So it's, there is also... a
So
bit
you will
of,
still be able to have the same result if you do it the other way, but if you take
more.
time, you will make
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't-
a
yeah.
significant amount. I'm sure that you're going to be
We'll balance it
balancing
all. You'll make at
carefully.
least 2 credits more.
At least 2.
It'll be more than that.
And I can answer the question
more.
above that from Kubo Sabubo.
Wow, that's
If you
a
scroll
fantastic
down,
name.
It's a brilliant. I just wanted to say it.
Oh my God.
I don't know. You scrolled it off the screen.
Sorry, one second.
You scrolled it off the screen. There was Kubo Sabubo.
Find it. We're all staring at the screen.
This is it. It's a
3
great,
men
great.
stare at a screen.
Come
that's
on.
live
Brilliant.
stream.
Oh,
He's
what's
gone. Kubo's gone.
Basically, he asked if it right. He asked, "Is there a use for the Guardian vessel blueprints?" There is a use for everything in Elite. So yes, but I can't announce what.
Wow.
Sneaky. More questions?
No, but I've made a note of various people saying the same thing. I will take my notes and I will go and ask various people.
There's lots of people wanting boxes. I don't know why they want those.
Want boxes?
Yeah.
Well, to keep things in. It's
They
really
must
really-
they must be
it is
moving
pretty
house.
useful.
They must be
Must be
moving
doing
house or
slots.
something like that.
Slots. Put more things in slots.
Milkman.
Yes.
Okay, come on. I'm seeing no interesting questions. What's wrong with you guys?
How do you stay so calm
The
for
questions are
Muzipan?
all very interesting, everybody. Do not listen to
yeah,
Sandy.
I
He's
don't.
Giddy. He's having too much fun.
Well, you don't listen to me.
This is great, right?
Oh, how do you stay calm?
How do I stay calm? I don't. You've seen me rant in the office.
Steve is the calmest person
It's not.
in the office,
Go bah.
and he never bothers to offer an opinion, which is really useful.
Thanks. Multi-cruise. So multi-cruise. Third spore on the Type 10, please. Oh, just spoilers all the way up. It's going to be brilliant. Are you guys thinking of adding new SRV chassis?
What's the second ship? Not the Challenger?
What's the second ship?
Yeah, of the 2 ships, not the Challenger.
Not the Challenger.
I think that's its
I
official
think
name.
they're
Actually.
I
referring
don't know.
to one of the new.
Well,
Well, we see a
the
revamp.
Argoid Scouts that we've.
I've got one.
Oh, yeah.
Malik.
Yeah.
Hey, Malik. I
I love
did
Malik.
subscribe to your stream a while ago, and then
Yeah.
and then I forgot
Yes.
to watch. I apologise for that. deeply. Will we see a revamp on how
USSs are found.
unidentified signal sources are found? Hopefully, yes. So one of the things we'd like to do, and this is actually half of the press I probably shouldn't be talking about.
Go ahead. One little treat.
Yeah. So one of the things we're looking at, no ETAs, no guarantees, is a way to make signal sources more deterministic and locatable using gameplay through exploration.
Yeah, rather than
It's not like you're finding random, super crazy exploration gameplay to get these, but a standard level of exploration which is available to everyone, and a way to make it so that signal sources, we're removing effectively a lot of the random out of them. That's the plan, so hopefully that's going to go quite well. I've seen some stuff going that looks quite good, but no ETAs, no guarantees, because we're doing so much.
Yeah, I mean,
and things might change because it's still, it's got a long time to go.
I mean,
how about that for covering?
Yeah, that's good.
I think so.
Well, at the end of the day, we discuss ideas in the office, and while we can't, we're not allowed to literally just say, oh yeah, and we're talking about this and this and this and this and this. It would just be useless information. So we only want to tell you things when. We're
properly investigating them.
When we're properly investigating.
And we are with that. I don't know how far we're going to get, but we are.
No.
What's this Raxler, right? I don't even know what Raxler is.
Nonsense.
I think it's the same thing as the hemorrhoids, is it? Is that where the hemorrhoids come from?
You mean the Thargoids?
Yeah, whatever.
So Dave Longmate says...
Imperial propaganda, all the way.
Do you need a better graphics card for the new graphics? No, you do not. Graphics.
No.
No.
What was that? With the probe launcher be something? And I lost it.
So sorry.
Sorry, it's gone.
No, don't.
Stuffs?
Ed,
when is there going to be a biscuit review? Says Daniel Fitzgerald.
A biscuit review now.
Good question.
Right now. Well, actually, if you come along tomorrow,
it's
on.
It's
on
on
Electron.
Tomorrow we're
It
going
makes
to
it
be
all
doing
up.
a biscuit review tomorrow.
They're not even biscuits he's eating. It's all talk about propaganda.
What is it? The cakes?
No, it's Ed and his biscuit propaganda.
How's
It's
Michael
not
Brooks doing?
science.
It's doing great.
It's doing great. Thank you very much. Yes. Will we get a Space Loach cabinet accessory? I really, really, really want, right? I'm not even joking more. I want a Space Loach bobble head, right? Just petition or something. Can you just do something? I want one, right?
Can you breed a Loach in Jurassic World?
Just,
I don't think
a little springy one on the dash. I want one. Biscuits.
Slander. Rabu. #Eds38. What's this?
New way to collect
Eds38
pieces of
business?
asteroids.
All right.
Dolphins.
All right. It's getting out of hand.
Right.
More questions, please.
New way to collect pieces of asteroids. So yes, there are.
Yeah,
you went through them
there's
earlier.
a bunch of new modules.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it's worth noting that for mining, we're looking at a bunch of modules. For exploration, we're not looking so much to add lots of new modules because we don't want to force players to kind of come back unless we absolutely have to. So that's why, for example, the detailed surface scanner, we're injecting vast amounts of gameplay steroid into the current modules. So the scanners of various sorts will basically just get a lot better and do more stuff.
So is this stuff that is subject to change, or that we're going to be discussing at a later?
Yes. But for example, the what I talked about just now, the detailed surface scanner, that's currently in the game. So you won't need a new module to be launching probes. It will just go bunk. Hey, I now have probes. I can launch them. They will also. It's very likely that there'll be cargo. There'll actually be a set of ammo for the module. You get stacks of them because we think it's a really fun process to do, and you'll be able to synthesize them.
So people who are kind of enjoying just exploration as it is, and I know that kind of sounds like
and so they should, because the galaxy is very beautiful, right, to explore. So that's true.
Yeah, it's a very relaxing sort of experience. So somebody actually asked earlier on, I'm playing what's his name? Oh gosh, the news reporter who would ask all the hard questions. That's the one, Paxman. I'm playing Paxman. Somebody hey, stop it! In the community, I'm going to argue again. Can I get my point across?
Do it. I'm waiting. I'm ready.
In the community, somebody earlier said that what they hope it doesn't take away from that experience of being being calm and not being too much stress.
I'm really hoping. No.
It just means there's more you can do when you get there.
The thing is, these new gameplay elements should be fun. Right, there is skill involved in how well you can do them. However, fundamentally, none of these are meant to be like extreme challenges, right? We don't want to massively increase the time it takes to explore. If anything, we want to cut away dead time. So the time that remains is just filled with more interesting things to do. Yep. We certainly don't want to hurt that feeling, that kind of majestic, awesome emptiness of space, right? That's still going to be there. Just that there's going to be some cool things to find in it.
So a couple of things. So one sorry I missed your name, but one person asked, are the megaship and installation like interactions down on planet settlements? They already have, to a certain extent, some of those things. So there's generators you can destroy to take down power to some of these. There's data points you can scan at some of those. We're always looking to improve those sort of scenarios. So, we are looking at everything in the game as a big thing. So
yes,
So don't rule it out, but as his catchphrase, say that right.
No ETA, no guarantee.
But yeah, we're always looking.
Excellent. A couple more questions, then it was time to let you guys go home.
There's some interesting ones there.
Yeah.
Ed Kovas, please.
Yeah, an Ed Kovas.
An Elite Dangerous Kovas, okay, sure.
An ED Kovas.
Oh, look at that. Steve, blink twice if Raxler is within the bubble. Pressure's on.
Well, the thing is, I'm not going to look. I'm going
to blink behind your eyes.
Crazy Coco is asking about paid content. That
Luckily, that's not my remit.
Referred to back in. You sat back as you said that. Literally. So I want to say that
we want to make the game fun.
We want to. Yeah, obviously we'll discuss that. We're not discussing that right now, but we will discuss that in the near future.
Yeah.
About that because we talked about it.
The Shrycaster question about more Thargoid content. There is. We're always adding new content.
So if they exist.
If they exist. He denies them. He's a denier. It's weird.
I think that's
Jeff Goldblum Kovas.
Oh my God, don't even get me started. I'm so jealous of all the people that met Jeff Goldblum. I rate Jeff Goldblum 10 out of 10
We should have
Goldblum.
just gotten to record 10 or 15 lines.
Just blame
it. Could
it.
have cost lots of money, probably.
TJ, you're off the hook. It's all Ed's fault.
Great.
There's lots of
more winged missions. Says
again, we're always looking to improve the missions. I mean, I know it sounds like just a line that you say, oh, we're always looking to improve it. We're always looking to improve it.
Wing one.
The guys who are working on missions are always improving their missions.
They are.
I mean, literally non-stop.
They work bloody hard.
It's just like,
actually.
They're really.
I mean, like big shout out to the team. Obviously, the design team are the best. Because they're this team and all of the designers.
You have to say that.
But no, I mean, but the team's fantastic. It's humbling to it's humbling to work on this project. So they are trying to improve things all the time.
Yeah. Wow.
Folders for bookmarks as quality of life update.
Nothing to announce at the moment on that, but obviously bookmarks is something we've discussed in the past. It's one of those things that we kind of all want. It's just a matter of when we can squeeze it in.
Daniel Rowlands, can I ask if Ed got my email sent directly on the advice of John from Spidermind? I'll have a look through. If it's under your name, I will definitely have a
Just a friendly reminder, it is June now.
It is June.
Are you trying to scare us even more than
No, it's summer. It's summertime. They're just saying, a friend of mine, it's summer, go out and get some sunlight.
Oh, one of the vampires.
Yeah,
actually, I like summer now.
It's fine.
Multi-crew improvements. Supreme Commander, we're not listening. We're going to get, hopefully, a bunch of multi-crew options for exploration and mining.
Yep.
What more could you possibly want?
Everything.
Clearly. We want to make sure that multi-crew is something that you don't just do in combat.
No.
And the more that you get to use it now, hopefully when these features go in, the more we can reward appropriately for it as well.
Asking about general UI redesigns and things like that.
Can we expect a general redesign? We've got nothing to announce at the moment.
But there's always improvements being made to the UI.
There are, and it's interesting
with every
as
update,
we add features, and we're still adding features, and as we look at things, there's always we always have to look at each one and go, is there a knock-on effect? Do we have to change more of the UI to support this? Or because we're changing this part of the UI, can we also get this other slight change in there? So never say never. Just nothing to announce at the moment.
Things like Starport services have been changed multiple times.
Absolutely.
Multiple times.
Yep.
It's so cool. I know that it hacks a lot of people off sometimes that we change things, but the one thing I would say there is that we take every change very seriously, and we only change when we think this is absolutely going to make the game a lot better. And I think it's really important that, and I'm really grateful that management allows us to do that.
Yes.
Because that's the way that we keep the game breathing.
Well, this is it. I mean, I don't know many other companies that will allow you to do that. So.
There's just too much talk.
There's a lot of people. So here's the thing, right? I think it's time for us to put an end to today's live stream. Unfortunately, I do apologise, but because I know there's still a lot of fever, a lot of talking, and that's because there's a lot to talk about with Elite Dangerous. We've got the Focus Feedback Forum that went live today, so if you haven't already, go and check that link out. If one of the moderators could put that link into the chat, head over there and leave your feedback about what's coming with mining as part of the Beyond series of updates. We also have Chapter 2 of Elite Dangerous Beyond, which is coming, next week, 7 days away.
Really?
This time next week. Very, 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 very close.
soon.
Very, very soon.
28.
We'll have some more information about that next week as well.
gonna
We'll
be
be doing
busy.
some more live streams as well. There's a lot to talk about with Elite Dangerous, and thank you everyone for being here still. I can tell you that it's still a really exciting project, at least. For me to work on,
I love
and
it.
just being, as in, it's at least busy.
Elite is
what I
life.
would
Elite
say.
is
It's
life.
insane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's
How
still-
many
it's
years
still
have we been actually
Yeah.
live?
And it's in its fourth year.
Yeah, and
fourth
it's
year.
it's.
And I
epic.
can't believe
It's getting
how
better.
It's a beast.
It's
Yeah.
getting better,
Oh,
and there's
it's
still
absolutely-
so
yeah.
much going on in the office around it. about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can't talk about.
Yes.
Sorry,
And it's
you don't
very
have
exciting.
access,
It's
right?
very, very
you
exciting.
don't have like what is it?
Stop
Infrared
secret.
access.
Infrared.
doing this.
Troubleshooters.
Stop
You're
doing
all
this.
you're all like colour red.
Gosh.
And we're infrared.
How
Oh, you're doing paranoia.
Yeah,
Oh.
is it infrared? I can't remember. White or
don't
we
know.
blue? I don't know.
Dunno.
This has been an
All I know is the
interesting
computer's your friend.
Yes. It's your
one.
friend.
This has been a fascinating one. Don't know
Look at
what's
poor
happened.
old dad. You've broken
Don't know
him.
what's I really do feel broken.
Sorry, everybody.
Well, you've been amazing. Thank you, and no, seriously though, thank
Wow.
you so much for coming on.
It's
It's been a
pleasure.
while.
It's been
since we've done
great.
one of these.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I think we need to do more.
More with MON.
And we will as well. So make
More.
sure you keep coming back to communicate with us and carry on this crazy journey through Elite Dangerous with us, because
Yes.
we ain't going nowhere yet.
Nope.
Elite is here.
Elite is here to stay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you next time. Toodle pip, bye bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye.